Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at diamonds from Idyl and Dior. And we've got some of my all-time favorites from Dior here. So we've got some newer products like the new soft filter blushes. We've also got some older products like the soft cashmere in the previous formula. So, we've got kind of a wide variety of things here, of ages, but things that I absolutely love and use regularly from Dior. So I definitely wanted to share those with you. I'd love to hear your thoughts and what products you love from Dior down below in the comments as well. So let's start off with our diamonds. Idyl was kind enough to send me these new pieces here. So I have the ear cuff and the attachments here for these. And, I've done a few videos featuring Idyl in the past. You see, I wear earrings from them constantly on my channel. There are things that they have gifted me, things I've purchased from them as well in the past. I absolutely love them. I love their brand ethos. And, for me, the best part is the versatility because we've got, a diamond stud here that you can, I'll just show you. But you can put the stud in and then you can buy these little pieces to kind of mix and match. And, you've got different levels here depending on where you want to put it, and things like that. So I love the versatility of these. I love being able to mix and match. I love how, if I didn't want a diamond here, maybe I wanted a pearl. I can add this to a pearl. I can mix and match things as necklaces and as earrings. So there's just so much versatility. So when I went on my vacation this summer, the jewelry I brought with me was actually my Idyl pieces because they are just so great because you only need a few items. You can mix and match so easily for a variety of different looks. All right, so I just had to go ahead and put these back in. But as I was saying, Idyl is such a great brand because, we have a lot of versatility with the pieces here, which really gives them a lot of value. But aside from that, we're looking at top luxury here. So Idyl is honest luxury at top value or true value here. So what they do is they're using the top 1% of lab grown diamonds. So you've got the absolute best of the best. And, they have sustainable practices here. They're using real gold. It's not plated. We have a 90% female powered brand here. There are just so many little details that really bring these to the top of the luxury brands, in my opinion. So I absolutely love them. I love what they stand for. Quiet luxury has been a thing now for a couple of years. It's been really popular. That's exactly what Idyl is. You've got the best pieces, the best quality here. You have a lot of customization available with your looks, and yet you've got a true value. You're not looking at any sort of like brand insignia on the jewelry, which personally I appreciate. I love things without like logos and stuff all over them. So I just think that they are a fantastic brand. Definitely check them out. And one of the really nice things that they're doing for US customers, you can see this information on their FAQ, but they're covering all taxes and duties, tariffs. All of that is in the price. So you will see the total price at checkout and you will not incur any additional fees. So I love that they're very transparent about that, and they've been working with our US agencies to get all of that clear, and they are, taking care of that for us. So it's just a weight off of my mind. I hate getting smacked with some of those kind of surprise fees, because if you haven't been purchasing things from overseas, there are some surprise fees sometimes, from the actual shipping companies as well. So, they have convenience fees and things like that. So it's just so nice to see a brand kind of stepping up and taking care of that for us, and again, it's part of the luxury experience that Idyl embodies. So I wanted to go ahead and share with you my unboxing here, and you can see as we're going through this, how luxurious all of these items are, how nicely everything comes packaged, beautiful gift for yourself or someone else. And, as I was just talking, you're viewing some little clips of some of the other pieces that I own as well. So I hope this is helpful. I am so excited to open my package from Idyl. So as you know, I featured Idyl on my channel a few times in the past. I've ordered things myself. I've been gifted some things. This is a gift, and you know, I'm just so excited. So I have a nice thank you letter here from Ornella, who is the owner of Idyl. And I love how, you know, their brand is structured. You know, she's the owner, she works with her brother, you know, it's such a nice family company. So let's go ahead and move into the unboxing. So this is how everything comes packaged. You can see we have, you know, the ribbon that actually says Idyl on it. And let's open this up. I love opening things. So we do have a sticker here. There we go. And then we've got tissue paper. I'm just going to pull this out. I like to keep it as intact as possible. And then this is what's inside. So let's start with the smaller bag here. And you can see that this is going to be like a silky material here. And I love these bags because I'm not sure if you can see exactly how thick this is, but they're very plush. So, you know, anytime I get a bag like this, I save them. I use them for packing and things like that. And inside, oh my gosh, I'm excited for this because I was actually going to buy this. This is the Shine Serum and a little brush. So this is, and there's a little cloth here. So this is for cleaning. That is definitely something I need. And then inside the big pouch, again, I have one of these big pouches, and this one here is like cotton. And again, it's going to be padded. The other one's slightly more padded, but they're both fairly padded here. So I have the little card here with, you know, all of the details on my product. This is the product here. So inside our box, it says this is going to be good, and this says be the light. And let's open this up. And these are the items. And I'm so excited because I've always wanted to try an ear cuff. This one looked like it is something that, you know, was going to fit and work out well. So I'm going to have to stick this on here. And then these earrings, I purchased myself a similar pair, a similar style, and the ones that I have are round. This is a different shape, something to change it up, but they're my most used earrings, my most worn earrings of all. So what I love about these is you can attach your stud, and you can use the diamond studs from Idyl, but I love the fact that you can customize them. You can use anything. Sometimes I'll mix them up with pearls or a colored gemstone, and then, you know, so basically you've got that. You can customize. You've got all these different holes here, so you can decide how close you want it. Or, you know, if you've got a hole like somewhere over here, you know, you've got options to really customize a fit. So thank you so much to Idyl. I cannot wait to try these on. I hope you enjoyed that unboxing almost as much as I did, but you know, I really cannot say enough good things about Idyl. They are definitely one of my favorite jewelry brands, and they are a go-to for me. You know, when I went on my vacation this summer, Idyl is what I brought with me for jewelry. So I absolutely love them. They are things that I can, you know, kind of wear every day with like jeans and a t-shirt, but something else that I can dress up. There's a lot of just so many different options. And I think diamonds, you know, they say they're a girl's best friend for a reason. They go with everything. So let's go ahead and move on to Dior. I feel like Dior and diamonds, they always go so well together. So I want to share some of my classic favorites, and you can use these every day for a low-key look. And these are also things that you can glam up for a night out, for a holiday event, or special occasion like an anniversary or something. So, you know, again, just so many great things here. So please share your thoughts down below in so please share your thoughts down below in the comments, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we're gonna start off with the Dior Forever Glow Star Filter. I wear shade 0, and I love putting this on underneath products. So I'm going to focus this on the cheeks. I'm gonna bring you in closer. All right, so here's the star filter. You can see what it looks like. And I'm just gonna go ahead and dab this on here, add a little bit of radiance, and This is also something that you can mix in with your concealer to make a radiant concealer. And since this comes in a variety of shades, you know, that can also help add a little color correction and so forth as well. So I'm just going to put this on the cheekbones. Next, I'm taking the Dior Forever. This is the Skin Contour in 01 Light. I'm using the Sonia G Mini Base, and I'm just going to get a little bit of product here. I like to put this on underneath my foundation, and just going to add a little bit here. I'm going to wipe the brush off and save it for later, and we're going to move into foundation. For foundation, I'm taking the Dior Stick Foundation. I have shade 0N, and I'm using the Jones Road Daily Brush. So sometimes I like to go in with my foundation, just put it on the brush and just kind of tap on. You can see it picks up a lot of product. Very easy to do that. Other times I will put it directly on my face and then, you know, kind of blend it out with a brush. This is a fluffier brush, so I like more of the applying it from the brush method. But if I'm using a stiffer brush, you know, it's really great at blending things out and so forth. Actually, this does a nice job of that as well. But with the contour already down and everything, I just prefer going in with this method. So I'm making sure I wipe the brush underneath the eyes because I'm not using a separate concealer today. And this is the foundation. You can see still some of the glow from the star filter, and you can see our contour here. Let me back you out. So this is what the base looks like. Now we're going to add blush. We're going to take the Forever Soft Filter Blush, and this is going to be shade number 6 Hibiscus. I love these blushes from Dior. I've been using these a lot, so I'm going to actually dab some on my hand. I'm going to go back in with the mini base brush. So I'm going to kind of work some into the bristles here and then kind of just tap off any excess on my hand so that it's not too pigmented on my skin, because it is, see, I missed a spot. It's a very pigmented shade. So obviously I messed that up. Let's try and fix that for the other side here. And just kind of a pouncing motion. And I just love that like flush you get from the red blushes. So I think that's good, but now I got to fix this one. So I'm going to go back with that foundation brush. Just going to go ahead and go over that area. And I didn't add any additional foundation. This is just what was left on the brush. And I feel like we need to make this even now. So this is the blush. Let me back you out for this. So the pigmented red, you know, with a soft application becomes just a really soft flush. And I love this formula because you get this like velvety blur. Now, I don't see as much of that since I have such a light application, but I do want a little bit more of that velvety powder look. So we're going to go in with my powder, and we're going in with, you know, I've been talking about this since this came out, but the Dior Forever New Matte Filter, and I have shade number 1 Fair. So let me bring you in closer. I'm taking a large face brush. This is Goat Hair. I'm not sure what the brand is. It's one of the Chinese food brands, and you know, it's got this gorgeous green handle. But anyway, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to dip in here and then tap off any excess, and then just kind of softly apply this. And I'm using a very light layer, but you can see that it adds that matte filtered look. Look at this side compared to the side without powder. So you can see it's definitely, you can add a little bit more even, and it just gives that velvety look. So I think from a distance, you can really tell the difference even more. So this side has the powder and this side does not. And you can see, you know, my pores look a lot more refined. Everything looks more like I have like a filter on. And this powder is just amazing because it doesn't look powdery on the skin and it still provides this really nice matte look. I love it. So definitely one of my favorite powders right now. I use it all the time. Now for eyes, I'm going to go ahead and apply my Trish McEvoy eye primer, and then we're going to go in with one of my all-time favorite Dior Quince, the Soft Cashmere. And I have the original version of it, but they do have, you know, this color story has been repeated in the newer formula. I feel like it's slightly warmer than the original was, but they're very close. All right, so here is Soft Cashmere. I've got the Sonia G Blender Pro here. I'm going to go into the middle shade. I'm going to use this sort of as my crease shade. So just kind of dabbing it in, tapping off excess, and then I stamped it on the microfiber cloth that's on my lap. And let's just go ahead and brush this out. This is still one of the best, you know, brown, neutral / cool tone palettes, in my opinion. I love this palette. I'm going to go ahead and use the same brush in this kind of top coat pale shade here. And I'm just going to go ahead and blend that kind of right above the crease into the brow bone. Just for a little highlight there. I'm taking the Rephr 01 Mini and we're going to go in this bottom left-hand shade. And just going to put a little bit of this on the outer corner here. One of the great things about this palette is we've got these cooler tone shades like one that I'm using, but we also have warmer tone shades in here. So there's a nice balance. And even though, you know, it's kind of like, oh, well, you know, we've got warm, we've got cool, maybe you only want to use some. I think they actually all complement each other well and work well together. So regardless of tone, they're all usable shades. And then I'm going to go into the top left shade, which is my favorite. And we're just going to kind of blend that with it. And you can see this is going to be a little bit more silvery. And I love it. For eyeliner, this is my most used Dior eyeliner. It is the Dior Show Stilo in Matte Taupe. And you can see, you know, it's called Matte Taupe. It's purple. It's not taupe. It's definitely a purple eyeliner, but it's just beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and just apply this close to the lash line. I just want a little bit of product here. And that's it. I don't think, well, we'll go up a little bit in the corner here. Just that. Love this color. It is definitely my most used. One of my most used eyeliners of all. All right, I'm going to go ahead and add just a little bit of this right here. Taking the pencil 1 from Sonia G with no product on it, and I'm just going to kind of soften that out and bring it to about halfway below. Just for a little shadow there. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm taking that same brush. I'm going to go into the light shade here. And I'm going to use this kind of here on the inner corner. And then I'm going to come down to the inner portion, kind of overlap that center. All right, so I'm finishing off with the Hourglass mascara in Espresso. Been using this a ton. You know I love brow mascaras. For brows, I'm taking the SUQQU Setting Eyebrow Gel in shade number 1. My brows are pretty unruly right now. They need to be trimmed. All right, so this is what we have so far. And I feel like every time I talk about my Dior favorites, we always go to the Rose Blues lipstick, which, you know, is my all-time favorite from Dior. But I did want to share something else that I use a lot, and that is one of the Dior Addict lipsticks. So this is going to be the shade, what is this even called? This is 418 Beige Oblique. And it's just a really nice everyday shade. I like to keep in the denim case because to me it's like a classic. So I'm going to bring you in and show you this. All right, so here's the beige oblique. Everything looks really classic. I feel like we just need one more thing though. So let's go ahead and add the highlighter. My favorite from Dior is Pink Halo. So I'm going to bring you in closer. We'll apply this. I'm taking this Hakuhodo. This is the G5518. I'm just going to get a little bit of powder on here, tap off the excess, and just kind of apply that here. And look at that. It's just a beautiful shade, and that will just, you know, emphasize. I know we had the star filter on, but I just want a little something more. So this is the final look, and you know, I feel like diamonds and Dior always go together. I absolutely love the new jewelry from Dior, and let me bring you in closer just so you can see it one more time in case you missed it during our demos here. So here's the ear cuff, and this just clips on, no pain, you know, it's fantastic. If you are somebody who does not have your ears pierced and you would like to adorn your ears in some way, this is great. And you know, you can put this like anywhere, any position and so forth. So it's just a little clip. And the earrings, I actually have these on the second hole. I put them out to the side a little bit today, but you know, I just love how it looks like it's, you know, piercing through there. And yeah, absolutely love these. So thank you so much to Idyl for these. I'm so happy these are joining my collection. So let's do a quick summary of everything we looked at here and just go through the products one more time. We started off with the Dior Forever Glow Star Filter, and I wear shade 0 with this. I like to use it underneath my foundation, and I usually use it just on the cheeks, but this is definitely something that you can use on top of foundation as a liquid highlighter as well. It comes in a lot of shades, so you can always get like a, you know, use it for other purposes as well, such as a deeper shade for like a bronzer, or I like to mix mine into concealer sometimes. So that is a great product. Then we went in with the Dior Contour Stick. I don't use this all the time because I don't contour super often, but when I do contour, I like this or the Westman Atelier Biscuit Contour Stick. You can see this is going to be more of a neutral brown. And then we went with the foundation stick in shade 0N, which is, this is one of my favorite foundations. You know, I actually use this quite a bit here. This is definitely one of my most used products, and it is my favorite stick foundation. You can see it blends out super easily. If you want to make more of a skin tint with this, you know, put some of this on your hand, mix it with a little moisturizer. You've got a lot of versatility. I've actually got my mom hooked on this foundation stick now as well. You know, she loves it. She doesn't wear very much makeup, and it's now like a go-to for her. She loves it. So then we took a look at the Forever Blush Soft Filter, and this is the shade Hibiscus, which is one of my personal favorites. It's just such a beautiful whipped product here. And, you know, we do have other products similar to this on the market. Unfortunately, some of them won't be available here anymore, like the Addiction Tokyo, which are, you know, a favorite of mine, but we have a great color range here with Dior. So again, this Hibiscus is a great, slightly cool tone red. It adds a beautiful flush, and I only need a tiny bit. Sometimes I'll put this one on under foundation. Sometimes I'll put it on top. Today I just used a tiny bit, and then we went over everything with the Dior Forever Matte Filter in shade 1 Fair. And let me put this one down here. And it just kind of, actually here, let me cover my freckle with that so you can see how that goes. But here, you can see how it just kind of blurs that away, but it's not heavy. It's still skin-like. You don't see powder on the skin, and it holds up all day that way. So I don't end up with any sort of like patchiness as the oils start to break through. Next, we took a look at my, probably this and the, Tutu palette, the original Tutu. These are my two favorite Dior palettes, some of my favorite palettes of all time. This one here is Soft Cashmere. So they do have this in the current formula, but I love this. I still miss this formula because it's just a little smoother, a little silkier. And yeah, it's such a beautiful palette. It's neutral. We've got some cooler shades in there, some warmer shades in there as well, but it's just such a beautiful palette here. And then we lined our eyes with the matte taupe eyeliner, which is just a staple. And I finished up with the Hourglass mascara, the SUQQU brow gel. Those are just standard staples I use pretty much every day right now. And for lips, one of my favorite go-tos, this is actually usually in my handbag, and this is called Beige Oblique. And I love these particularly for on the go because they're light, easy to apply. Well, they have darker shades as well, but this one in particular is light, easy to apply. It's like a nude shade that kind of goes with everything, and it's got a little bit of shimmer there. I just love them. So got that, and then we added the highlight in. Here it is, Pink Halo, which my favorite Dior highlighter here. And you can see it's just gonna be a soft pink. It's got a little bit of warmth to it, but it's not like a super warm pink. And yeah, it's kind of like that pinkish ivory that helps really kind of blend into skin tone. So you can make a really natural look with it. So that is everything we have on today. Again, we've got the diamonds from Idyl. Again, thank you so much to Idyl for gifting these today. And you know, I'd love to hear what your favorites are from Dior and your Idyl favorites as well. So please share in the comments. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you very soon. Have a great day.